Yeah, so I think this might be a good segue to how do you see it compared to other tools and how they're being used in the organizations, which I think implicit in that question is also how do you present this to your clients in terms of if they ask, well, what about the MBTI or what about the DISC, since you all have used, it sounds like multiple tools, although I think probably more and more you just use the Enneagram, but how does it compare to other tools when used in organizations, and how do you make a case for the Enneagram potentially? So do you want to start since you're... Yeah.
In one organization, a German engineering organization, 18,000 people, everybody has done the DISC. You know? So it's big business. I don't know, 500 euros per person, and everybody does it. You know? And the red and the yellow, they are the good ones, and the blue, the green, they are the bad ones. But then in projects, if you have all these red guys, you get nothing done, you know, because they're fighting all the time. And so my colleague, a 6, he had this brilliant idea. He went to HR of that organization and said, well, you're only using the DISC. I mean, this gets into a cult mentality. You know, you need to have 2 models. And they say, oh yeah, you are right. You know, we shouldn't just use one and then kind of elevate this. This is really, we all bow down to the tool, whatever. You know, and he said, well, we are doing project management training there, so we said we want to integrate the Enneagram and the DISC into our program. And they had never thought about it, and they bought the idea. So now they are all doing the Enneagram as well, and they recognize the difference. It's a big, big difference. You know, you can measure introvert, extrovert, yeah, scientifically. See, but in the Enneagram, you know, you have some Enneagram drives or styles that are introvert and some that are extrovert for different reasons. You know? And they understand all this. And in the project management teams, they always say, the Enneagram really helps me. The DISC doesn't help me much. You know, there's just a statement. This is who you are. You know, your pizza slice is this big, the yellow one, and the red one is this big. But what do you do with it? And see, the way I always explain it also is the Enneagram, you know, you have the real you, and in Germany I can say that, you know, we are a soulful people. Probably you don't know that, but...
it's a social subtype country, yeah.
Right. And, well, we have, for example, we have 80 opera houses. Did you know that? I mean, with
full-time opera houses.
Full-time opera houses.
You know how many the U.S. has? 1.
There's only 1 in the U.S. I mean,
80.
The rest of the world has probably 80 opera houses, and Germany has 80. Full-time, you know, and an opera house in a place where I live, I mean, they have over 1,000 employees. You know, it's a big business, and the government pays for it. Why? Well, we had a terrible time between 1914 and 1945. You know, the Germans did some horrible stuff, so they decided something must be wrong with us. And, you know, let's not follow this path, you know, let's just take glass, metal, rubber, and build stuff that the whole world buys, you know. But underneath, there's this yearning for a soul and a soulful life. And I always say, you know, this is who you really are, this is your soul. And then you have the reference point. You need that for self-observation. If you only observe with one eye, just hold your hand in front of your eye and just look. You cannot see 3-dimensional. You can only see 2-dimensional. So this is the greatest gift we have. And it's necessary for self-observation. If you didn't have this, you couldn't do self-observation. You would be driven by your instincts, purely instincts, no reflection. So this is a real gift, God's gift, whatever, however you want to call it. It's not to be fought, but it has to be in the right place. Now, if you put this to sleep, or you deny who you really are, and you identify with this, then you're in real trouble. And the way I explain it is I say, well, the Enneagram is there. Don't learn much about the Enneagram. Learn something about yourself. It helps you. It's a map, as you said. You know, and if you can learn something about yourself, what are you here for? What is your destiny? What does your soul want you to do? You know, you need self-reflection, and it has to be in silence. Your soul is not going to yell and scream at you what you are supposed to be doing this lifetime. it's calm and quiet. It whispers, and sometimes somebody talks to you, and all this. And this is how I explain it. And I say, you can measure the personality traits like the DISC, but with the Enneagram, it's about you. And learning something about you, and if you want a fulfilled life, not just accomplishments or achievements, if you want fulfillment, find out. And the Enneagram can really help you. It's the most wonderful roadmap for you to find out what you want to do in this life.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful. Thanks. Thank you. Some support for that.